Facebook, Google, you guys are on TikTok, I'm assuming. All these different channels as you kind of grow, right? How do you guys tracking success across the board?
Attribution is, the holy grail if you can figure that out. There's no real true attribution. You got to use a couple different tech and platforms. That's what we do. Northbeam and some of these platforms do offer a good attribution model to see how your money's being spent.
Another thing is talking to customers. You can't talk to every customer that you acquire, but we can sort of extrapolate out based on surveys, or we do interviews with our customers as well. And so you can find out where customers came from, sort of what registers with them, and then we can build these profiles. As a whole, we got to zoom out and just look at the data from sort of a bird's eye view.
Welcome back to another episode of Tomorrow Brand, powered by Recharge. Today we're talking to a few gentlemen here from a health and wellness brand that honestly served as a pretty big inspiration to Avi at one point in time, and even currently. I'm joined by Sal, the CMO of Cymbiotika, as well as Jared, the CTO. We're going to go into their growth strategy over the last few years, what they did on D2C, now getting into retail, how retention played such a big role for you guys, and talk a little bit about their subscription strategy. And so without further ado, please, would love to hear about you guys' background for the people who may not know you. Sal, please.
Sure. Thank you for having us, first and foremost. My name is Sal. I'm the CMO of Cymbiotika, and I've been with Cymbiotika since the very beginning. My background is technology and ad platforms. I've got 25 years of ad experience. I've been on the agency side, on the network side, also built a couple of brands. I was on Shark Tank, got to deal with Mark Cuban with a brand called Bouquet Bar, so that was quite a trip. But yeah, I've been here since the start, and it's a wonderful experience to be able to work with him and some of our founders.
Awesome.
And thanks for having us.
Of course.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm Jared Radtkey, CTO of Cymbiotika. I joined the company in 2020, August of 2020, and my role there was really to set up new verticals, set up new channels, making sure our tech stack was in order. And as we grew as a company, and our user experience kind of requests came through, and our different strategies evolved, we needed to sort of evolve our technology strategy as well. And so, we've kind of been spearheading that along the way. And prior to Cymbiotika, I've about 10 years of startup experience, mainly all in technology, different VC-backed startups, and Cymbiotika has been a heck of a ride.
Yeah, no, amazing. Well, thank you guys for being here. I definitely want to just kick it off, right? You guys started in 2018, primarily D2C, bootstrapped. Yep. I kind of want to walk through what the shift has been when it comes to acquiring customers, because now you guys are talking about retail placement, you're talking about raising money, et cetera, et cetera. I think just walk us through, what has been the strategy or the core strategy of acquiring customers for Cymbiotika, and how do you think that's going to evolve as you kind of, get into that omni-channel style of marketing?
Sure. So to start there, I think you have to kind of understand where the brand came to. So our founders were really into health and wellness, and we're always looking for a brand that had clean ingredients, and they couldn't find anything that was in the space that really fulfilled what their needs were. So they set out to build this product and this brand that really went and searched for the best ingredients, no matter what the cost was. And that's the one thing that kind of is the driver for our business, is we want to make the best products. We don't want to take any shortcuts, because it is kind of a race to the bottom and see the best margins. We're like, look, we don't care. We want to provide the best kind of product for our customers, because we are so customer centric and we always are constantly thinking about our customers. That's where it started. And what happens is, we are on the pricier side of the supplement space, and you really have to go and look at what your customer's looking for and what their needs are. And then go back and see how you can acquire them. And that's through lots of education, lots of storytelling, and your typical, meta or paid social, paid search strategy may, even though it's part of our game plan, it does work, but you have to have other alternative plans to be able to acquire this customer. So for us, we chose to sit down and really understand our customer, who they are, where do they consume content, how do they engage with brands? How do they engage with brands that we find affinity to? How will they engage with our brands? And when you look at that, it's not clear, but we started to find really spots where we can hit through organic social, through podcasts, through certain influencer seeding, through just activations and actually being part of other brand partnerships to really start to be in front of our audience and really start to tell that story about why Cymbiotika is different and why we're not taking shortcuts and why we have the best products in the space.
No, that's incredible. So it sounded like you guys kind of started focusing on maybe the organic side of things first. So influencer seeding, podcasts, it sounds like, activations. I think walk us through kind of the influencer seeding efforts, because for us, it's something that honestly, I think we did it the reverse. We started off with paid ads because that's, coming off, we had an agency and, that was our bread and butter was paid ads, coming up with the landing page and creating assets and running, right? I think 5 years into the business now, I'm really understanding how big and powerful having that organic presence really is for the brand, to then later have paid kind of amplify what's happening, right? So walk us through, some of the influencer strategy that you guys implemented over the years.
Sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the paid channels are still very important. That's how we launched as well too. And our stories are similar. I had a digital agency that was focused around helping businesses build a solid foundation the first 3 years. At the first 3 months, as you know, when you're starting a business, especially e-commerce, those first 3 to 6 months are really crucial. You got to build a solid foundation. So our agency kind of helped with brands do that, and Cymbiotika one of those brands. So we launched Meta, we launched back then Facebook and Google. Those are paid channels. But as we started to dive into who our customers were and who our audience was going to be, we found that although those are going to be anchors for our media spend, really we have to supplement that with really around influencers and podcasts. So early on, influencers were Shervin, one of our co-founders, is obviously big. He's kind of an influencer himself. We utilized his influence to really reach out to other influencers to really have this engaging conversation around why your health is so important, more than ever now because of COVID was coming on. It was like 2019 to 2020. So those conversations started kind of early on engagement with influencers. And then the strategy there was, let's get as many influencers to like organically talk about our products as possible through an affiliate program. And then those that did really well, we would graduate them into like a paid channel and start still trying to have them speak on our brand as organically as possible, having them be an advocate. So early on, like bringing as many influencers on from an affiliate perspective was big for us. And affiliates early on was just important. So like publishers, like other affiliates was huge play for us because it didn't cost us upfront money, but there was that influence there that our brand would be in front of millions of people at one time.
Amazing. When it comes to kind of onboarding these influencers and kind of finding the right people, I find that that's our biggest struggle, right? Because you can go with the spray and pray approach, or you can reach out to every single influencer, like, hey, want to send you a care package. And the costs do add up, right? You're talking about cost of goods, shipping, et cetera, all for somebody to just not post about you, right?
Sure.
So I'm curious, do you guys use any maybe tools in-house? Have you built anything? How do you guys go about actually kind of cultivating this audience?
Sure. Early on, we have tools now in place that really give us access to a bunch of influencers. But early on, it was all around the right outreach. And one of the things that we really harped on our early team members was about caring. Like, if you really truly care about the brand, you got to care about the customer, you got to care about the brand, and you got to care about the products. And we try to hire people that really had that brand affinity, that wanted to be part of the brand, that were excited to be part of the brand. And early on, we remember sitting down and looking at influencers and trying to categorize who would be a good fit, who would actually care about our brand. And it starts with internal care. Like, if our employees like look at the people that would translate really well in terms of sales or in terms of just messaging, those are the people that we would reach out to. So we did a lot of internal auditing first, early on. For the affiliate portion of the business, we were kind of like, let's just reach out to as many people as possible and say, hey, do you want to be part of this program? You could earn up to X amount of dollars. This brand is growing, it's catching on. And we use some of the celebrity partnerships that we had, or then kind of name dropping early on to get them excited. But the ones that really powered the brand, those early on were adapters and that really cared about the brand. They really understood our messaging and they kind of jumped on. And one of those people was like Lauren Bostic from the Skinny Confidential. She really takes our products, and that relationship now has blossomed into something that we use quite a bit, and we've got to build a really good partnership. They're a great brand. So yeah, early on it was about care, but now we have a couple different tools that we utilize around how to reach the right influencer. Super Affiliates is one of them. They're actually here based out of New York. So we're really excited about that because it gives us access to a ton of influencers across different platforms, lets us look at their audience, lets us understand their audience, lets us build custom programs, outreach, makes it really easy for us to outreach. So now it's more manageable, but early on it was all about caring and making sure we reach out to the right people at the right time.
Right. No, I've always said that influencer marketing is, I think, most of the easy part is getting the package into somebody's hand.
Yeah.
The hardest part is maintaining that relationship, ongoing.
Correct.
I'm curious, like, if anything comes to mind, but what was some of the more successful campaigns that you guys have run?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Lauren's probably the biggest campaign that we've run for her. She became early on. Her relationship with Shervin was something that we kind of jumped on right away, and we made her one of our earlier affiliates, and not affiliates, but more like an influencer, and that's blossomed into like us advertising on their podcast, being a part of their podcast, and then that whole Dear Media podcast group. For us, that relationship has probably been the most successful, and we've got other really key relationships, but nothing as big as that one. I think early on, because we listened to her podcast and we saw how often she talked about health and wellness and how self-care and everything was so important to her. So when we approached her about being part of that Dear Media podcast and actually making her kind of almost like an influencer that helps us, it was more of an organic partnership rather than like, hey, we're going to pay you to post about us. It was more like, look, take our products, see what you think about them. And when the conversation between her and Shervin took on a life of its own, he went on the podcast a couple of times, and it kind of grew from there. So that's probably the most successful partnership we've had.
Love that. And it sounds like, obviously, and I think this is what all brands kind of strive for, is that the authentic conversations that these affiliates are having with their followers, right? Because I mean, everybody can kind of sniff out the BS nowadays, like, oh, this person's getting paid by this person just to talk about it, or whatever it is. It feels inauthentic. So I think the goal to that is to build those relationships, continue building those relationships, and it's not something that you can automate, right? The tools are great for getting people in the door, but having somebody actually actively manage that relationship, keeping in touch with them, if you guys are launching anything new, sending out products to them to test it out and get the feedback. So I think that's one of the biggest things that's like, you just got to get your hands dirty and do it yourself.
There's no easy way. I was talking to Jared, and I were just conversing earlier about, like, there's no quick fix. There's no silver bullet in marketing. And if anybody's offering you that, run away as fast as you can, right? Agencies early on were like, I can guarantee X amount of return. I'm like, you just don't know. Yeah. The brands are so different. What works for you may not work for me. What works for one brand may not work for other brand. You really got to understand your brand. You got to understand your audience. You got to understand how to storytell. And then there is a little bit of hard work. Like, you gotta study your audience. You gotta look at the partners who you partnered up with earlier. We looked at like influencer platforms like Captivate and some of the other things that offer this like massive reach and like campaigns. And we said, if we do this, we're gonna spend a ton of money. We might not get in front of the right influencers. Bigger brands can do it because they can afford some of the losses. We just can't afford it at this level. So coming back and just being true to our brand and understanding who we are, and doing the outreach and doing the hard work and shaking the hands and meeting the people and like making sure they understand we're authentic about our stuff. This is not just, we really mean it when we say we've got the best products in the world. We care about our customers, and we will care about you. And hopefully that's what translated across.
Of course. So as you grow this, the affiliate network, the influencer network, the affiliate networks, publishers, layering on top of that paid. So Facebook, Google, you guys are on TikTok, I'm assuming. All these different channels as you kind of grow, right? How do you guys kind of track success across these multiple channels, right? Sure. Obviously within, Ads Manager, Facebook is going to say, oh, we take credit for everything that comes in, right? But how do you guys go about really tracking on, across multiple channels, and obviously now even heading into retail. How are you guys tracking success across the board?
Sure, that's a really good question, and attribution is the holy grail if you can figure that out. I think there's no real true attribution. You got to use a couple different tech and platforms. That's what we do, and we try to look at directionally how our marketing spend's moving. So, Northbeam and some of these platforms really do offer a good attribution model to look at see how your money's being spent, and then we also look for in-platform data to see if directionally if we're spending the right amount of money, if our ads are converting the right way, if the audiences that we've selected, is it working well, and then we use some other tools like Decile and Prescient to understand the mixed media, how it's attributing and what channels are profitable when it doesn't look like in platform, but what's driving sales. So we pair up all these tools. Decile for audience information, like if driving all these people to our site, the ones that are submitting emails, the ones that are potentially converting, who are they? How can we build lookalikes? How do we get more of these audiences? Who's the most valuable? Right. Understanding of the subset of women that come into our site between 25 and 40, which one has the highest LTV, which one has the lowest CAC. All of those are really important in our decision making. We don't spend a lot of time on at the weeds, on the day-to-day execution, because I think for us, especially a brand that's kind of on the expensive side, you need multiple touch points from an education perspective. So making adjustments to ads or spend on a weekly or a daily, it could hurt you in the long run. So we allow for ads and certain campaigns to run for quite a bit of time. Then we look back, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and we look at each attribution channel to see what worked and what's been valuable, what's worked and what hasn't worked. And then hopefully directionally we're moving in the right place. And again, it's no silver. The landscape is changing so fast. You got to be able to move really, really fast. And this allows us to do that.
Agreed.
Yes, and another thing is talking to customers, right? You can't talk to every customer that you acquire, but we can sort of extrapolate out based on surveys or we do interviews with our customers as well. And so, we can find out where customers came from, sort of what registers with them, and then, we can build these profiles as well that helps with SAL. And then we also monitor, CAC and LTV, which is sort of the source of truth as far as how efficient we are and how well we're doing. And so, with all the SAL strategies around the omni-channel, and we're not able to pinpoint exactly which channel they came from sometimes, but as a whole, we got to zoom out and just look at the data from sort of a bird's eye view.
Right. I mean, from the beginning, the company was founded on producing products that were truly beneficial to the customers. Again, you've mentioned, actually talking to customers and interviewing them and getting their feedback, and I'm sure, taking that feedback and making the products even better, right? So retention has to be crucial here, right? Because if the product sucks, they're not coming back, right? Yeah. So I kind of want to get into maybe some of those strategies. Do you guys primarily push subscription? Do you guys push one time? What's the focus for the brand?
Yeah, I mean, on the store is all about converting customers to subscribers. If we have loyal customers that want to keep coming back and ordering, they should be subscribers, and we want to make it as easy and efficient and as valuable as possible to subscribe. And so, a lot of our store is built around the benefits of subscribing, and again, the long-term customers, they see the value in that, and our tiered pricing structure allows for customers to not only get value in subscribing to more products, but the longer they stay, they also have built-in value in that as well.
So early on, that's one of the things that we looked at is the distribution between one-time sales versus subscribers, subscription sales. And when Jared, myself, and the team were sitting and looking at the data, it was clear we had to push more subscription, language and education, because this is not something that you can take one time and feel the benefits of it. I mean, you can certain things, but you need to build healthy habits. And what that in return, we talked about retention, is we had to kind of make sure that their mindset was right to be able to stay for long periods of time and for us to retain them. So that early education was very key. So it's about routine building. It's about making the right moves every day. Like we had a campaign early last year about winning your day. It's all about like, you may have a really bad day, but are you going to make the right choices that day? Are you still going to go to the gym? Are you still going to take your supplements? Are you still going to go put in the work that needs to be done for your startup or whatever walk of life you may be? Are you still going to be able to read to your kids and do them? Like those are all the right things. So so when we started to put that messaging out, it wasn't about just taking our supplements, but building a good routine. And when you have that mindset, then you come on our website and you look at the language and saying, hey, you could, if you subscribe now, you're going to buy our products anyways, might as well get a better pricing, stay on for longer. And then the perks on the back end, what Jared and his team have built on the back end has been really unbelievable. It's like changed our business around the messaging that goes out, the community that's built on the back end, and how we retain customers. And again, to Jared's point, like early on, we talked to our customers, take a lot of surveys, like, why are you canceling? What do you want to change? All of those we're trying to answer on the back end. That really helps our retention.
Right. In terms of, and I want to hear about all the tools you guys have built out, because that's something that we're trying to focus on is building and reducing that churn rate, right? I'm curious, one thing that you said earlier is obviously the education that goes into it is kind of the long-lasting benefits, and obviously you can't just take a product for 10 days and expect the world, right? So how are you guys actually educating your customers? Like, are you doing it on the website? Is it through maybe email? Like, what are some of the kind of the channels that you guys are able to get in front of your customers to do that?
Sure. There's two ways. So there's the front end where I handle, and on the back end where Jared and his team and our technology does the work. So on the front end, I think it starts with, number one, getting in front of the audience with content's a big play for us. We've doubled down on content. So early on, we get them with content with engaging ads and talking about certain benefits of our products. So once they're engaged and they come to our website, then they're put in these flows depending on what type of products they engaged on, and then each one of these flows starts with, we don't want to be like cheesy and keep asking for a sale. We want to really provide some value. So a lot of the follow-ups, the segmentation, the personalizations around, you're interested in magnesium. Here are the health benefits of magnesium. Here's what it does to your body. But also if you pair it up with these two things, this is what also the bigger benefit is, because no two people are alike. What may work for you may not work for us. So we have this product called Magnesium L-threonate. For me, if I take it, I get hyper focused. Some people take it before bed because it calms their nerves and they go to sleep a lot easier. So it's like two different things. So what may work for me may not work for you. So those are all the education points that we hit early on. We try to say, like, you'll see benefits of these in X amount of days. Here's how it works. So they understand that it's, if they build a routine, they can have up to 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 products that will help them in their kind of their journey. And then on the back end of things, when they go in and they are a customer and they are a subscriber, we're constantly providing content, free content for them. We're constantly providing perks on the back end to help them understand. And we've built, and I'll let Jared talk here a little bit about the back end platform that we've built that is going to then be into our beta app. We've built kind of a community. We've built a loyalty program that is now a community that we have our own customers or advocates of our product now. They're teaching other customers about like what our products can do. So we've got these very simple flow, kind of like early Facebook, like the news feed. We've got these little spaces that we've created where customers can come and have conversations. Like we have a gut health space.
That's amazing.
And like we see that our customers are actually educating other customers. Like, hey, if you took this charcoal, it actually works really well if you take the probiotic with it. And we moderate it to make sure it's like, nobody's abusing anybody, but the majority of the education's happening from our own customers on the back end. If you can spend some time like talking about what we built, I think that would help a lot.
I mean, the tech it sounds like it's very important for kind of building this retention strategy and the back end, right? What are you guys using for kind of all of that to host it?
Yeah, so Recharge is our subscription platform, and we have a really close relationship with them, in particular around their API. And so, they have really awesome sort of out-of-box solutions. But we decided to take the approach of just building a lot of our stuff in-house because we had really specific use cases and really specific strategies that we wanted to be able to implement exactly how we wanted to. And so, we have a team of 8 developers in-house, and not all brands have that resource, right? And that opportunity, but we've invested in that because that allows us to build, the type of experience that we want for our customers. And kind of going back to some of the education stuff, Our rewards program is built to incentivize customers to stay active and stay subscribed, but it's also built to help educate them and keep them engaged with our brand. We do these monthly challenges where customers can log in and engage with our community or engage with our brand or learn about products. So that's some additional education. And like Sal said, the community is turning into this sort of self-sufficient engine that educates customers, on our behalf.
No, I love that.
We try to build like good habits. Talk about the badges. I think the badges are really an important part.
Yeah, so it's those monthly challenges. Every month we throw out four opportunities for customers to, whether it's engage with the community or go for a hike or try out a recipe, or this one we're in September rolling out these learning challenges so customers can, it's about 5 minutes. They can learn about our magnesium product or learn about probiotic or glutathione, and then at the end of it there's like a short little quiz. They learn about the product, but it kind of gamifies the experience for our customers. And so it helps with daily active users. It helps with learning about our products. It helps with engagement. It helps customers feel good knowing what's going into their bodies.
And I think customers really love that because you've seen Peloton do it and Apple's got the rings. Like I wake up every day and I'm trying to complete my rings at the end of the day. I'm like, I got to go for a quick walk. I got to complete my ring. Like I'm kind of obsessed about it. And we thought like people want to do these things. They want to learn. They want to like talk about it, especially in the community. Like, oh, you've earned like 30 badges. You're like a premier user, if you're a power user, Cymbiotika power users. I think a lot of people take pride in those badges, and we found that the more we try to engage our customers on the back end, education, content, things like that, we do these lives that are really powerful. The more we do those, the more we get the customer involved, the more engagement we're seeing from them. And that's better because one of the things we looked at surveys, one of the top ways we acquire customers from the survey that we took was referral. Like people, like Instagram is one of the top ones, but also referral. How'd you hear about us? From a friend, like somebody that was a power user. So those things all pay dividends at the very end. And you may not immediately feel it, but 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, that brand affinity is bringing some customers back to you without any cost.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess, having this in the portal sounds incredible. We definitely don't have anything like that. So now you got my brain thinking. But how do you really balance I guess like between having an overload of education and kind of like experience versus, well, you guys do want to maintain subscriptions. Obviously, you want to reduce churn. You want to get people to try different products. How do you strike that balance between like education and we got to like push sales?
Yeah. So there's a couple different metrics, and in the flows, we're trying to get more personalized on the flows for that specific reason. Like, are we going to overeducate certain people? Are they just like we're trying to find out why they cancel? If it's a monetary issue, like they might know a lot about the products, but they just can't afford it. So how do you solve that problem? Well, that's not a hard problem. It's a discount. We can get them back with a discount or maybe another offer. I think being really personalized around what their needs are, why they've either canceled. Abundance is one. Maybe they don't know how to take the product the right way. So maybe there's education that can lead that. But if it's a monetary issue, then it's a discount issue. But we're constantly on those flows around education, around asking the sale. There's always upsell and cross-sell around different products. We see what products they've liked, what they want to cancel. Can we substitute something that will work? So for example, somebody may have vitamin C, elderberry, and maybe a zinc. They're really worried about their immune system. Well, if they're getting rid of zinc, can we suggest something else that won't reduce that one supplement churn? And those are all the flows that we've built on the back end that does deliver customized messages to our audiences so that it's not either over salesy or over educated. It's meant to drive the right type. And those are evolving. Like I said earlier, things move really, really fast. So we're constantly analyzing our flows and our segmentation on the back end. And Jared will get into like kind of our AI usage now, introducing AI into the mix and trying to get learnings even quicker so that then we can feed that upflow. So now it comes back to our marketing side, and now our media buyers can make informed decisions and put better campaigns out there so that we can resonate with the audience.
Right. So when you guys kind of implement all these features, whether it's the education, the the community aspect of it, and then obviously upsells and cross sells. What are like some of the core metrics you guys are measuring to kind of evaluate the effectiveness of everything that's going on in the back end?
Yeah, so a really big one is just units per order and frequency of ordering as well. So, just because a customer has an active subscription with us doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be ordering every month with us. Right. So we really want to make sure that, we're squeezing as many orders in, on a monthly basis as possible per user that we have. So it's units per order, frequency of ordering, and then AOV is important as well. But now that we have our rewards program, we've sort of seen the value in customers. Maybe if they're not ordering every single month, but their LTV is $1,000 or $1,500. We kind of give them that. Okay, you order when it's best for you, but we also want to incentivize them to order as frequently as possible. And so we have this streak campaign where it's additional value for customers if they're ordering on a monthly basis. And that's good for us because we get to count on that recurring revenue. Right. It's also good for the customers because they see value in getting a discount or getting some sort of perk if they engage with this type of functionality.
So the two key metrics there, subscription churn and customer churn. We look at that obsessively on a daily basis. Like, are we dropping customers or are we keeping customers but they're cutting down on subscriptions? So the units per order is really important. That's a subset of those two numbers. So we really obsess over those two numbers.
Yeah.
You brought up the rewards program. This is something that I feel like a lot of brands have this, right? So it's like, oh, you buy, you get points, you can redeem. Yeah. It becomes boring after a while, and sometimes it's not really that incentivizing for many. How have you guys kind of approached rewards? And because it sounds like you guys have really dialed it in, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it took a lot of research ahead of time and really trying to find out what the appropriate incentives are to drive the type of behavior that we want. And we had a point structure as well when we launched our first rewards program. And what we were seeing was that if somebody's getting a point per dollar earned, it's not quite driving the behavior that we want, which was retention and strong cohort performance. And reducing churn. And so we rolled out a program that incentivized customers to stay active and to not cancel. And the difference there is one incentive is spending money, another incentive is staying active. And so that was the first sort of step that we employed was through discounting, incentivizing customers to stay active. And then as the program developed, we started rolling out more features that helped with spend and helped with other types of engagement that draws that LTV up higher, and that improves the churn as well.
Any examples you can touch upon?
As far as the program?
Yeah.
So the way that our program is built is the longer somebody stays active, the deeper a discount they get. And so it's sort of like a three-dimensional pricing matrix where the more products they subscribe to, deeper the discount they get. Also, the longer they stay, the deeper the discount. So some of our VIP customers, which are the longer-term customers, they're getting up to 44% off.
Wow.
Which is, sounds kind of crazy if you're on a per customer acquisition sort of mindset where I got to acquire this customer, and then if I'm only getting 56% or whatever, that's not great numbers. But we've already acquired those customers. They stay with us for a really long time, and they see the value in staying active, and so that turns into them trusting us that we have their best interest in mind because they've shown the loyalty to us, and works out well.
Although that number seems really steep, the 44% discount, and some may look like, damn, that's a huge discount. The thing that we look back when you look at the numbers of our core VIP customers, they actually obviously they have the longest times with us, but they have the highest LTV and they also have the highest AOV. So they're subscribing to more products and they're staying longest. I think our average day is like now plus 370 days or something like that our average VIP customer stays with us.
Wow.
And our AOV is the highest of any first-time buyers, subscribers, everything else. So when we look at CAC on the front end, how much it takes to acquire these customers, it's to our best interest to get them in that VIP tier as soon as possible,
right? Because
the perks are so good there that they don't want to lose that, and they stay with us, and they end up staying and spending more money than if we just got them to buy maybe 2 times and then they leave.
Exactly.
So those stats, when you look at early on when somebody buys one time from your subscribers, or they maybe subscribe for 2 months, the quicker we can get them into that VIP tier, the better it is for us as a business. And now I think I think something north of like 54% of our active customers are in the VIP tier now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another part about the rewards program is customers need to have an active subscription in order to engage with the community, engage with those challenges,
Right.
engage with all the benefits and the content that we have sort of paywalled behind that subscription.
Right.
So if a customer cancels, they're losing not only all this equity that they've built through the discounts, but also all the advantages of subscribing through the challenges in the community and stuff like that.
And also the support in the community is like the biggest thing for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, that makes sense. The goal to get customers to come in and get to the VIP status quickly, right? I'm assuming it takes a lot of incentive to really get to that point. Maybe more discounts, rewards, etc. Has there been anything that you guys have added or tried to kind of implement in the strategy which maybe didn't go right at first, but kind of gave you some learnings there?
Yeah, I think early on we tested not like the VIP tier it is what it was. Like we try to put it as like this crown that you had to reach,
right.
And like we kind of made it a little bit difficult to reach early on. I mean, that's the thoughts, like let's get them to stay longer and get to that spot without offering any real incentive. And then when we did that, we started seeing that people were dropping off quite a bit, and churn was staying at the same level, and we realized that they needed help getting there. Like we don't want to block them from getting there. They need help. So as we started to introduce more incentive and made it not easier for them, but achievable, and we would help them get it there. Like for example, we would offer saying, hey, if you stay with us consecutively and for 3 months and you achieved these couple of these things, you have a shot at getting into the VIP tier. Or maybe trying to get them as close to that 6 months as possible to jump into the VIP tier, but allowing them to earn those discounts a little bit earlier, so that once they get there, they get to keep it and they don't lose it. So when we started to help them get there, we started seeing really a lot of people start to churn into the VIP tier, because we knew we had to look back on our back end numbers. Like if our goal is to get to that maximum LTV and keep them on for that 365 days, like who cares if they get there a little bit earlier? Or who cares if they earn the discount a little bit sooner? Let's not make it unattainable. Let's give them a chance to get there a little bit faster. Let's help them from a company. And that, to them, that's like, wow, this company actually cares about me. It wants to meet, and we do. It's not a gimmick or a ploy.
Right.
We really want our customers to be in the VIP because they get the best value, and they get to stay using the products that they love, and they get to be healthy. Like that's the ultimate goal anyway. It's like we want to make sure all of our customers are really, really healthy and they got the products that they need.
Right. How do you guys kind of keep up with the feedback that you're getting from customers, whether it's around the portal or what they're, I guess, within the community or the products, et cetera, et cetera? Like, how are you guys leveraging that feedback into kind of continuously building? Yeah,
so a few ways. I mean, we have surveys that we send out sort of periodically. Any customer that orders, they're going to get there's a link in the confirmation email that says, hey, take our survey. We also have one of the challenges that we just have permanently in the portal is a different form and a different survey that customers can provide some a little bit more detailed feedback. And then we also have a really strong product team that talks to our customers. And that's something that, like we've said before, is really important to us, actually talking to customers and understanding what's most beneficial to them. And they say the same things over and over. It's discounts, it's content, it's education.
Right.
And it's also the efficacy. I mean, we talk about how cool our program is, but if our products weren't good, the customers wouldn't keep coming back, and they wouldn't see the value in the program. So
right.
That's a few ways.
We also have like an in-house CX team, that's dedicated. Like we said, we're really obsessive about our customers. We've got team members there answering phone calls. They actually know some of our customers by name. They can call in and ask hey, can I speak to so-and-so? We also have a 24-hour live chat support where you can go and get a bunch of information. We monitor those and see what people are talking about. And then in marketing, we've got a team that looks out, and it's a communications position that goes out and looks at all of our comments and feedback on social, so that we want to see what people are talking about. What are they requesting without reaching out back to us through surveys or through emails or through, we have obviously kind of like our loyalty program where they can talk to us, but we want to make sure we're reaching out before they have a chance to come here. We want to see what they're saying, like kind of like on the streets. What are they saying on the streets?
Right.
We've got our reviews platform. We get good feedback there. We look at all the reviews. We look at all the 2 stars, 3 stars. We're lucky we don't get a lot of those, but when they are, we want to hear what are they saying? What are they complaining about?
Right.
We try to answer those as quickly as we can, and try to pivot to resolve those problems.
Right. I think everything you hit on is so crucial for brands to kind of understand and explore and kind of implement back into the business. But I think there are some blockers that come with it. And I guess a question for you, Jared, but how important is the tech stack to ensuring that you have that full visibility into what's going on, and how do you even ensure that you're using the right pieces of tech and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, technology is almost as good as, it's like bad data ins, bad data out. We want to make sure that we have the right infrastructure so that we can get this feedback, whether it's through customers or through just the data of the activity of our customers. And so, we've had the luxury of building stuff on our own as far as our own tech stack, and we've implemented maybe click events or different ways to track our customers through that tech stack that we built. And so, again, we made that decision because we wanted to really pivot our strategy in a really customer-centric way. And so any new campaign that we launch or any new strategy that we launch, we iterate really quickly. And we collect data really fast. We say, okay, are our assumptions correct? How did our customers respond to this? And then we make changes really quickly as well. And those changes happen, whether it's like Sal said, through CX. CX has said, hey, customers are responding to this campaign in this way. Our tech team immediately goes and makes some changes, and we track data from there, and then we just kind of keep iterating.
And I want to add to that. I don't know if we'd be as successful in marketing, our marketing team without our tech that we have in place. Like, our teams work really well together. We've got project managers that talk between departments that really get that messaging out to technology. Like, there's days that we're able to change PDPs and conversion flows just on feedback real quick within a couple hours. So having your own dev in-house and having hands on your own technology is really beneficial to being able to launch campaigns. We've launched campaigns in 24 hours and
wow.
The sites changed within a couple hours. So having that is so wonderful for myself, because in the agency business, you talk to a brand, here are the things that you need to change. Weeks go by before those changes. Oh, I'm talking to my developers overseas in the Philippines or Colombia, whatever. They said this change will be done in so-and-so days. But they've just lost so much time to be effective. We're able to do that within hours. So without tech, I don't know if we'd be as successful as we are currently. I think they go hand in hand. So yeah, to Jared's point, making sure we have the right tech and the right pieces in place is really, really important.
Yeah. Another piece there is that, sometimes Sal and the marketing team will come up with really cool ideas, and they kind of ask us based on our capabilities, hey, I think we can run this type of campaign, or think we can run this strategy, whether it's on the site, we can quickly flip some sort of promotion or some sort
CRO,
of CRO stuff, or whether it's through the portal. And we kind of brainstorm and say, yeah, we can figure this out and we'll make it happen. And companies that don't have, again, that luxury of in-house development, it's really hard to do super custom, unique offers and promotions. If you're kind of using more drag and drop type of functionality or just an out-of-box Shopify theme. All of our theme is completely custom. We built it ourselves. And so, if Sal has a campaign he wants to run on the cart, we can flip it, and again, iterate really quickly, get some data, and then go from there.
Yeah, I think Shopify is great with that, because especially the apps that are in the ecosystem, if they're allowing you to kind of build what you want, that becomes, I think that's very important. And especially, like you said, you might have these apps that are just drag and drop. It's all the functionality you get. But to really have something personalized, an experience that's dialed in, really does change the numbers for the business drastically, right? Sure. So I'm curious, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, but what's your favorite feature within, if you guys had to pick one, what's your favorite feature within your portal right now?
I know mine. It's hands down our community feature. Yeah. It's not even close, for me at least, because we're able to understand what our community is asking for, and they're doing some of the work for us. And we're able to put content, test out content. If the content does really well there, I cut it up, put it in ads,
Nice.
and we know it's going to work. So hands down, my favorite feature is the community section, the
Love
community
that.
version.
Yeah, I'll say one that's kind of in the works. So we're leveraging AI now a lot to receive first party data from customers and really talk to our customers and understand what the health goals are, how we can sort of facilitate that, and through that we've been able to make better product recommendations in the portal. Most of the time, like with machine learning sort of suggestion engines, what they'll do is they'll sort of just baseline and end up being the top sellers because that's what the algorithm sort of learns.
Right.
But what we want to do is actually recommend the best products for that customer, and that's not always the best seller. And so that's something that we really care a lot about, and we've been pretty effective at so far.
I love that. What do you guys think is the future for the company? I mean, you guys have dialed in the subscription, for the business or the DTC side of things. You guys are now toying with retail. What do you guys think is going to be the focus? Are you gonna kind of go all in on the retail? Obviously subscription is thriving, but curious where your guys' heads are at.
Sure, I'll take a shot at it and then maybe we can jump in. I think there's still a lot to do in D2C. I think we haven't really figured out everything. We're always constantly learning. Market shifts really quick. There was always competitors and people coming in with new innovative products, new even technologies. I think we've got a long ways to go in D2C and Amazon specifically. I think there's a lot that we can do there. And then retail strategy is going to be huge for us. I think getting into places like Target or Whole Foods and things like that, which would then help have the halo effect to help our D2C marketing drive more customers to the site. And then we can do so much with that data. I think for us, the future is data and retail, and how we leverage both of those things to boost up the brand. And I'll say one thing, kind of to wrap this up. Cymbiotica's moved away from being at our core, we're a supplement brand. That's who we are, and that's what we continue to focus on. We've become more of a lifestyle brand. It's almost like a lifestyle. We encourage you to live healthy, make sure that you're taking the right supplements, but also do other things that are healthy. So with that, there's so much more that we can do. Content's a big thing for us in the future. Really looking forward to building a lot of really awesome content, engaging our customers. So those are the things that I'm looking forward here at Cymbiotika. Jared?
Yeah, so one thing I'm really excited about is leveraging retail customers and as well as Amazon, as well as D2C, and just bringing them all together in the ecosystem.
Right.
And if a customer wants to order from Sprouts, that's okay. Keep ordering from Sprouts, keep doing your thing. We're happy with high sell-throughs on Sprouts, but we're exploring ways to integrate those customers into our rewards program as well.
Love that.
And so we're getting really creative with retail customer acquisition, and not necessarily bringing those customers to D2C. If they want to, that's their prerogative. But we want to allow them to benefit of part of that rewards program. And so if a customer finds us through Vitamin Shop or Sprouts, maybe they take a picture of the receipt, and then we have a way of kind of processing that and then giving them additional benefits, whether through Sprouts or on a site, maybe through swag or something. Same thing with Amazon. And so the ecosystem of all the channels that we sell and wherever the customers find us, however they want to buy, whatever's best for them, we want to make sure to incentivize that and continue to reward them for being loyal customers, regardless of where they find us and where they buy.
Yep. Absolutely love that. Before we close out, one piece of advice from both of you to the viewers and listeners, whether it's within marketing, within tech, just overall business.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, I think ultimately you just need to deploy functionality, deploy offers, deploy user experiences, and iterate quickly on those, and get that feedback and make changes, and let the customers sort of drive what they want, and provide that for them. And so listen to customers, listen to data, and let that sort of be the guiding light.
Love it.
Mine's right on there, and especially in marketing. I always go by this thing: you don't know what you don't know. Test often. Don't be scared of launching things and actually looking at it, and allow it time to grow, and allow for you to see the results. Don't be so reactive. And I think one of the things that I'm really thankful, for our CEO Shahab Almi, he's given us kind of the leeway to be able to do these things and allow us to really learn what our customers want, what their needs are. So my biggest thing would be, look, you don't know what you don't know. Test out new features, new products, new channels. The marketing landscape is shifting so fast. You need to be able to keep up. And then it ties in right to what Jared said. it goes hand in hand. Like you got to be able to launch things, quickly learn from them, reiterate, then go back to the market.
Yeah.
Love it. Jared, Sal, thank you so much for hopping on the episode. It was incredible, a lot of value, action packed, and there's so many things that I want to go back and now implement into our program. So
well, thank you so much for having us, man.
Really
appreciate it.
Of course.